alichishi. Alichishi. Kamba
Alichishi.
kamba gusto nyawi nya chaupi pitish. Limang.
Chau bebé.
Tukuita rikuringi.
Chi. Yeah.
Alilia chitiaungi.
Ali tantiauni.
Imata pasara kamba kwartoi kamba wasi. Kamba wasipi nya.
Ali lemon kuna mana imas pasashkanya.
Mana imas pasashka.
Ali mau.
Mana kazi api tukurangi.
Mana kuna.
Ali chishi kurang Belgica pakta auna pakta muska.
Auna pakta muska.
Auna pakta muska.
Nya chishuata nya apinaura kalabusuma.
Imata kalabosu.
Kalabusuma nya apinaura chishuata.
Kalabosuma. Imata kalabosuma.
Presuma.
Oh.
Tundakura lama.
Kunang preso tukura. Chishua.
Chishua ima yaiku shayapa wasi puriu. Nya. Shuguasi bi ishkai cilindro tashuashkauna.
Cilindro de gas?
Chita shuasha imasti riuta apishkauna shuguasi manda. Shukuna chara ukulaita ushkauna.
Polícia apishka o shukrona
mana imasti chi mandalata runaguna imasti apishkauna nya shuasha riuta. Apisha, libachisha, uchuta satisha, chimanda nya policiama kushkauna.
Maipita satinaura uchuta.
Kalyarik imasti causa inshkaibi.
Causa imata?
Kalyari causa nishkaibi chi comunidad bi apishkanaura chishua gunata.
Chimanda kaishua gruna nya pai nya sati tukura
uchuta satishkauna chimanda.
Maipi satinaura nya
wibi
ukaipi usikutui
nya satishkauna nya win latana chisha makashkauna. Nyu kamana yacharani chasnaibi kayandi totamanda nya kambawasibi yaikusha purik shuata nya apishkauna ninaura. Ashkauna mara sukta pura.
Sukta pura?
Nya kimsa ta apisha pashkauna. Salata kimsa sakirishkauna. Mana apishkauna.
Kimsa nya libre mangnau. Charak mana apishkauna.
Mana apishkauna.
Pai shutiguna? Mana yachanau?
Mana yacharani pai ima shutiguna anau. Nya chasna apitukushkauna.
Libachi yapa sinji libachi tukungri.
Yapa sinji ta libachishkauna, uchuta satishkauna. Nya chiwasha polisia makima kushkauna. Nya pai tarimashkauna nya gasolina talisha sindi chingaraunchi causa takanda nishkauna.
Pita chasna nira? Polisia?
Runaguna.
Runaguna?
Chasa shuashkata pisha. Chiwi nya manjarisha mana nya shuarani. Chi refrigeradora chingarishka nirani chiriwasi. Chitas nya. Chi plaza raima sakigirishka tiao. Mana chingarishka chao chiwi tiao apai chinisha shirimashkauna. Chi shuagunaga.
Chasna pero paigona liulia naura.
Nya tupanaura chi de refrigeradoratas.
Tupanaura.
Chimanda cilindrota was nya ishkai tapashkata nya chitas tupanaura tiaushkara paiguna wasi.
Alimang. Kunang mana manjaiwang punyungi.
Pai luksinagama mana manjaiwang tiaibag mau nya. Luksisha chiwi astawan tukunga. Pai mana manjarina asha mas tukunga dino sakina asha sakinga.
Pero paiguna kunang karselpi.
Karselpi tiaungguna kuna.
Mas na tiempo chay pisakirin gauna.
Mas na tiempo ray ko sakiringauna chasna nya apashkauna chi. Paiguna rupachiwangaraw nisha manjarisha rimashkauna dino mana rimanata.
Wow.
Ñuka wasi Miami wai ag vecinumanta apashkanaura chi refrigeradorata. Chita ña tupanawra.
Tupanaura refrigerador. Alimang. Alimang mana waglishka?
Mana ali ña chasnalla. Randi chingawa chiri saki grishka aunaura. Chasnalay ña apinaura kuti. Paigunata.
Ay, Dios.
Rico.
Mata pasashkangi riki.
Chasna tu.
Anjaibak.
Manjana ya.
Belgica, shuk mashti taputa charini.
Ña?
Imata fossil. Shuk
Ah?
imata fossil. Ilyapa shina?
Inda
Fossil.
shugo. Husili illapa ankasna. Imashkangi. Ichilalla illapa. Mana yapa
Ichilya
anto.
ilya. Mana.
Chiman husili illapa.
Fossil. Chimanda tawana. Tawana tarik singichu. Imata tawana.
Tawana mang imasti ashanga ta awangawa shugo imastiam shimanda masiyali atungla waska chi mang tawana.
Alimang. Pagarachi. Chimanda shukliata. Imata tulmana.
Tulmana? Tulmana.
Mana rik singichu.
Mana. Tulana riksini.
Tulana imata tulana. Ya,
Tulana mang lumu kaspita tarpungawa. Tu yachina lumu kaspita tarpungawa.
Yuka pandarani chari kilkasha. Tulmana charian. Alimang pagarachu ashkati. Manang auna charing tapugunata.
Nya?
Enggak. Ashkata charing.
Ashkata chari. Nya?
Ashkata charing.
Ashka. See. Shuk. Maikan animal tapia kang.
Tapia animal ang imasti sacha aliku tapia kang chimanda kuiling tapia kang
Pishko.
chimanda kunawaru sapu tapia kang chimanda shalama tapia kang
Shalama supayang.
shalama supay luchu tiak
Shalama supay luchu.
luchu supay ichila supay
Imagina the recording. Luchu
nya latang wawa kaishu wawa latang shina pero nya ruku chasna puri nya latang chirai ku wawata latang le tiak wawata ga shalama ni gano
Kang nirangi yatang wawa nya yachapas ilyag wawa.
Eso shalama chiga
Shalama. Rico changi shalamata. Uyangi.
mana uyanata yang uyas kamanya mana rikos kachani
Mana rikoshka. Okay.
nyuka yaya kuinta gara chichas na wakaus kaibi ruya sapi manda mitikusha rikupika yochum shiwaka sharingan nishani gara
Shalama.
shalama
Ay.
Imata
runa waka sharingkani
Runa imata runa wakasha.
Runa imaginta ayllu wañupi kaparisha waka gano chasa shi waka sharigan niga gara mama wañunapiga ayñuka mamala kasa wañuna chaparangueño kamamala ña shi waka kaparisha uyarin ñambita garin chiga tapia shalama waka upay ñukanchi mama wañunga rawpi pay ña upata ña tapia sha uyachiu.
Did you get that?
I got bits.
Yeah. So if a parent, like a mother's about to die, this supai will be heard crying, just as if a person would cry for that person who's already, as if it's already died. I'm gonna ask her how does it know?
Yeah, that's what I'm,
Iruna
how would I
wan
phrase that?
Iruna wan yunata. Imashina to yach.
Mm.
Kaisa shalom.
Imashinata yachang.
Iruna wan yunata.
Runa wanu nata.
Runa wanyo na tapay taga laki cari tiang ya cisalama taganya pai mama wanyus kata sina caya ceng etsapi tami pai mama tayari saya kapari saya wakang ya.
Iruna mama.
Runa mama wanyung garau pi pai ganya pai ta cari pai mama wanyus kata sina ya ceng ciganya pai ga wakang. Ciganya runa
Pero
wanyung garau.
imagínate yachan.
Nya pai imagina pai casa ya canggawa tukura riku.
Now yaya Dios shina yachan.
Riku pai ya cak takona ya josina pai si ya cang. Pai nya wanyung garau ta ya casa nya pai wakang. Nya wawa wanyung garau pega ai nyuka wawala. Nyuka curi la nya si wakang. Ciga curi wanyung garau pega.
Now runa shimiwang wakan.
Runa shimiwang wakang, runa shimiwang.
Entonces kang uyangi shimigunata.
Ndaya kuti.
Shimiguna uyaring pai shimimanda. Wow. Manjaiba.
Au ci wakak piga mana yang ga wakang ni na cang. Alinya pasak tau yarik tarima siya wakang ga.
Okay.
Nyuka kacung wanyo na eri kitabi awari mi wanyo na nyuka kacung la. Nyuka kacung la si wakang ni gara.
Makan kacung.
Nyuka kacung wanyuska agang David bawari mi. Ci wanyo na icha sa wakagara nyera. Nyuka kacung la kasa wanyo na chaparangi nyuka kacung la nya si wakawni. Ciga. Muy kan kacung si wanyo ra ini sa sikali pamora nyera cagara manda. Mana tiang ilang. Ciga nyuka kacung wanyo gara upi paiga nyau patawa kauska. Jas na uyari gumagang ciga. Cima tapia shalama.
Manja na yak.
Riku nya ci uyarik pika mana yang ga pai wakaunya sirto ta wakau jas na.
Wow. These questions you want to ask more about?
Cimanda tukayu chasala tawa kagau.
Tukayu. Pishko?
Pishko.
Imagínate tukayu waka.
Ciga. Warko riu. Warko riu. Wakangka. Ciga chasna pai wakakpi. Ciga nya. Aruna takau sak tapai guna wancing garaupi. Chasna mastikmang.
Runa wanyuchi to kung garaupi. Chasna waka.
Chasna waka.
Ima pishko nirangi?
Tukayu.
Tukayu.
Toairo pishko.
Tukayu pishko. Tapyagan. Wow. Uyarangi, imagínate wanyuchi tu kora emisión Ventura wa yaya. Uyagarangi chita.
Chita ga emisión daga imaste au kaguna si wanchis kanong achuar guna.
Pero tukayo chari nya tapiara.
Inda chasa wanchinga raus kay kanya tapia ipasong pay. Chiga ila pa ang wanchin na isa tapia mo chiga.
I was asking about a man I knew who had been killed and asked her if the same bird portended, and she said it does it just that way. So I don't know if it did or if it's that or it's an example of
a good situation.
Like a good situation. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we asked that one.
I'm curious about the Sacha Alcuz.
Oh yeah, let's ask about that. Go ahead. Did you want to ask about that?
Sure. Sacha Alcu imashina ta tapiakan.
Tapial ko chiga.
Manjani.
Oh, manjani. Chito yashi.
Chas na siya. Waka chiga. Tapia siya chasa wakaw. Chiga ro na wanyong garaupi. Cik Honda pumapay tapia siya wakaw. Chas na nyo kasi na waka siya puring kang ayo wanyo piganya siya sa uyaching.
Oh, manjanayak. Such.
Manja na yakta sa chay bicha sa uyarik pinya. Ayo cari nyo ka ayo. Wanyong garaw may karu itiaw ko na siya wanyong garaw. Nigara nyo ka mama. Imata si kas na nyo. Nigara nyo ka. Chika kas na rukuya siya yachak piga. Ayo ruku may kang tiyag wanyong garaw picha sa uyachigashka.
Maikang yaparuko akpi chasna maikang
Nyachi wanyong garaw pinya ruku
Yeah.
wanyong garaw pinya may kang
Yeah.
pasarnya wanyong garaw ni ma Malta asya o soltera ya o asya nya wanyong garaw chinya tapi asya snow yachu.
Belgica, imagina taningi sacha alku castellanoi. Sacha alku. Yachangicho.
Chachalco. Perro del monte.
Pero del monte. No. This is such a okay. I'll remember what
Sounds
it
like
is.
it's gotta be related.
Yeah. Manayaku lobo.
Mana. Sachaliku nyenye. Sachaliku gamana. Atunjanga kaito pule ichilya wawa mankasnawa kashnawa.
Punjana Shina?
Punjana manda pishi. Nya pishi wamang. Ichilya wa. Chila alikuwa mankasna. Chiku gusto alikuwa. Kashpiring liwawai. Chicha sawa kagawa. Atung alikushina uya chinga wakasha. Chi sachaliku mana. Atung ashalata.
Mikuna chan sa
Tarasha.
Mikuna chan sacha alku umana.
Mana lo muchata katik piangas lo muchata mikona.
Okay.
Lo muchata gusto katik mana unche sacha alikuga. Erita katinga.
Timang lomocha.
Lo muchata chiga katiu. Lyoksi chisha.
Chasna uyaring katisha.
Chi chasa kate chi chasna katik mi. Chasa au. Gawaka gaw. Sachaiga.
Chasna wakasha pai charining nya wanyu chitu kunga mirauni. Chasna chari
Rimang ya pai kakuti.
Hmm?
Chasna chari rima itu kunci nukancita.
Sacha alku. Let's see.
Yaku alku tapyakan angchu.
Yakwalku. Mana yakwalku tianga chu.
Um,
Bishnya tiang
Yaku
chimanta
lobo?
lobo.
Yaku
Yaku
lobo.
lobo.
Yaku lobo.
Lobo.
Yaku lobo. Yaku lobo tapyagang.
Mana riku kachani yaku lobo pai tapias kata.
Mana.
Anima.
We're asking about small birds. Ima pishku kan nirangi cuti wali ima ta nirangi cuti wali pishku tapyagang.
Tiu wale. Tiu tili. Nik pika biora ya nai si chiga tiu wali ka wakagang.
Pero shuk pishku gona tapyaga now.
Inda tapiag mana shuka. Indianga tapiagang.
Hindi anga.
Yanga.
Hindi anga.
Indianga ka tapianga.
Chi anga guna chi indi anga guna tapyasha nya warmi indi anga tapyagang kari indi anga tapyagang.
Nya pari tapiag le mano.
Pari
Kari
yo tapiag.
indianga warmi indianga nya tapianga pai.
It's not gender specific. I think this would be interesting to ask not only about something that is heard portending, but something that is seen portending, something that appears to be portending. Kang nirangi nya kang nirangi nya iminata tapya iminata pishkugona sacha alkugona uyarisha tapyagang. Pero rikurisha tapyag tianaundu.
Inda rikurikta kasa tiari sami. Imasti ano tutanya. Cara mana punjaya gleitan kantang gawana ci tapia sa kantau ka. ña anga
Tutay.
chari a las 12 de la noche o ña las 4 de la mañana ña chiwi chara mana punjeshka y cantanga chi tapiasha cantano.
Maikan guna chasna tapia gano?
Kuilin cantagan chasalata.
Punjalya.
Tuta.
O tuta.
Kui limbas chaylla. Chimanda kay imashti. Sikuanga salata tapiaga.
Sikuangawas.
Sikuanga pay las 3 de la mañana, las 2 de la mañana chiga ña illapawan wanchingarau pichasna. Cantakman. Watarak was chaylla. Illapawan wanchingaraupi.
Runa illapay tukungarauta chasna
Aruna
tapia.
illapawan wanchingaraupi. Chasna cantakman tuta.
Tuta. Maikan sikuanga, tukui sikuanga guna?
Tukuy sikuanga pay koti kantang mi tapiasha tuta. Punja gamana chiga ña yanga cantang pay.
Yanga kantang punja, pero tuta kantasha
Tuta
tapia
ña
gana.
tapia chiga.
That's relatable. That's how
Yeah.
I feel when I hear birds.
I know, birds at night usually don't chirp, do they?
Ima shinata sikuanga tapiakan.
Ña ali canta siya quick wow quick wow quick wow quick cantanga.
Maikan sikuanga chasna kantaga?
Atong sikuanga.
Atung sikuanga.
Wawa sikuanga tapiakan?
Mana ruko mi tapia kau mana.
Chi sikuanga guna, chi ruku sikuanga guna, mama sikuanga chari. Yacha chingaraun wawata.
Inta ya kuti.
Imagina ta yacha ching wawata.
Kuti pai mama imagina urai bi kantak pe paiwasnya chila tata yacha shanya kuti chasala ta kantang garau kuti paiwasnya yachang garau tapia sha kantau. Uyasha chila.
Uyashalya.
Uyashala yachang garau. Nyachi urai kantang garau paiwas tapia sha dikwe.
Ask about animals training, animal guna evolution, and
I was really curious
That was a
about
really
that
good one.
Belgica. Animal guna runa shina musku kanonchu.
Animal guna? Pai gunas musko nao.
Animal guna?
Cierto.
Pai gunas musko monguna.
Imagina ta yachangi.
Ali kui mari kui. Punushka shala. Punusha. Chiga pai punja katinga rausha nya.
Katiung. Paiba muskui katiung animal.
Nya muskui be katiung chiga nya. Punja apa syarikpi nya katinga rau. Chasa mang pai musku mau animal bas. Pai tas muskushka ibe animal tasnya wanchi kaunggona. Mana muskushka ibe ga pai was kish pigaun chirai kuta.
Shuk alku chasna muskushkai kayandi punja pai animal ta katengarang.
Nda katigma.
Pero mana chasna muskushkai animal katina animal guna ya iyangauna kayandi.
Kote katishas mana wanchinga imarau kote mana payas muskusha ga.
Mana chasna muskushkai.
Mana chasa muskushkai.
Mana hapinga.
Mana wanchinga rau. Mana satinga rau uktui.
Alku guna wanyu chiga na animal ta u paigona yanga tu panalya chimanda runa randi wanyu chiga na.
Runa wanchiga na mai kanga pai kiruang kanisha wanchigma.
Alku.
Aliku ga wanchigma. Mai kambiga lomuchatas kanisha wanchigma aliku. Mai kambiga lomucha randi kanisha alikuta wanchigma.
Paigona sinji kiruyu.
Sinji kiruyu manori.
Pishku guna, musku gana.
Musku gami pishko askona.
Pai guna punyusha uyarisha jasna musku.
Is there a way to ask what they dream about?
Which one's like the dogs? I'm guessing she's going to say it's mostly about catching animals, but we'll try to ask. Alku guna ga muskusha. Ima guna ta musku ganang alku guna. Ya. Animal katina.
Nya animal katina pai was katisha pagarisha nya kushita pagaring mangalikuas.
Chimanda mai nya animal katina
ya
musku.
kushito kusha nya pai was kaparisha tukui. Kushita agang alikuas.
Pai chupawang nya putu putu.
Nya pai putu wakta sa kushpari unga pai was.
Kushiasha.
Kushiasha kote.
Luisa niwara mi shuk mashtita shuk kwentota painera mi nyuka musku nyuka ali kushi muskuna tiang painera alkuguna nyukata shamukpi nya kushi nyukata nya yaukasha pai chupa nya putu chasna asha chimanda nyuka randi wasima tigramusha nyuka kusa nya ali shungu mangarang mana nyukata makawangarang chasna
Cierto, wow, chasa muskushka.
cierto chan alkuguna kushiasha muskui chimanda kusa paiwas nya kushiyangarang warmi tigrakpi wasima chasna chan. Yeah, Luisa said, did you catch it? She said that if you have a dream about dogs coming up to you happily and licking you and wagging their tails, that means when you go home, your husband's going to be nice to you.
I'm curious, and this is a little abstract.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, because I know sometimes when Runa have dreams, that portends something in the future. So I'm curious if animals ever have dreams that indicate something that will happen to them later.
She just talked about that. She said if a dog has a dream, it's barking during its dream, that means it's the next day it's going to find an animal to follow.
Right.
Yeah. So that one, but I can't get her to expound on. She doesn't seem to be able to come up with other examples about animals dreaming. Shinasha alkuguna muskugana. Shimanda mas animal guna muskugana.
Daya kotirona tokui nya musku itachari no tokui man. Nya ruyas muskuyu. Nya sacha.
Ruya?
Inda.
Aruya muskugan? Ruya
muskuchik.
Muskuching. At first I thought she said the tree dreams, but now she's saying the tree causes dreams.
I think more interesting.
Imashina ta muskuching. Ruya ga imashina ta muskuching.
Ruya ga yanusha upikpi guna muskuching.
Paiba karata.
Pai karata yanusha upikpi.
If you drink its bark, it'll cause you to dream. Jasna pasara kangwan?
Lispungu nyukayaya. Lispungu muyuta. Upira nyinyera. Pai bakara takasna. Ta apa musha. Ta kasha. Upira nyinyera. Pak punyushkai. Shamura nyira. Kui. Wira runa. Umasa palyaruna paktamuranya. Kunang. Kasawanyuk siya chunyukata yuyari warangi. Nyuka. Ambing garauni kunanga amigo toko shunyi waranyira. Chirona shamosha. Uglari nata mana usharanyira mana paktaranyira yapa atung maranyira pai nyuka maki mana paktaranyira pai taki piringawa.
Yapa hatung ruya mana ugliay pa pai yapa
mana
hatung.
uglay pa runa maranyira runa. Pero pai ba amo maranyira.
Pero ruya paiba how do you say his soul? Paiba pero Uruna tukushka, Ruya manda. Hi, Todd. You got back from the Kurarai. Or are you in Kurarai? Oh, he's in Kurarai. Tomas Shamura Ricky.
Siamos ka pero mana rimang.
Mana Uyaipa. There you are. Hey,
Hey.
Todd. Great to see you.
Ali Chishi.
Alichesi. Kay kuraray biman. De pare.
Correct.
Imagina ta conectarangi Kurarai.
Internet solar one.
Wow. Ushashka.
Chichang Kambawasi.
Mana kay comunidad gay pare pay na rukuwasi pero pay kay chari nung internet ta. Y no canchi cabaña anak mamá. Pero no, su 1000 metros, sino 2000 metros.
Karunaya mas.
Sí, bicharin che atun cabaña. Sí, mana charin si internet.
Ima kutsi runa mangi.
Ima Chirai ko nyukayayata paita ka Tomas shute ukta shute chiska ni ganara yapa kutsi wa shute.
Yapa kutsi asha. Yeah. Piwang puriungi. Josefina Shamushka Pariolya Josefina.
Mana shamuska. Man, pero nunca warmi turigona y chino. Josefin paiwa primo. Nunca hay. Acho que trabajo charinchi sinagliera mana materiales pising gasolina pising tudo. Sina anchi. Y yaku ima cuenta Samura.
Ashka?
Kundaska.
Kundaska.
Ajá.
Wow.
Ukuna punja ima cuenta tamiara kaibi.
Ay mas yapa tamia mana ali indi punja. Yapa tamia shala kausa.
Mana tarabaiba.
Mana tarabaiba.
Kunara ansa pasarin. Sina.
Wow. Mas na punja mas pasangi chaipi. Mas na punja mas tiaringi chaipi.
Bueno, jueves punja samurani su semana tupo tiangawa. Sinakpi jueves kutliara yeri. Y bueno, mana suficiente tiempo charini kaivi, pero chaivi sinaliara. Aska trabajo tiarino y nyaya kayaringa nyuka clase digital.
Chi Arizona clase ta yachachingi chaipi.
Pero y harina manda, kaivi manusani porque pamiakpi mana señal ya ansa dice. Pero nyaya lichingaran chikaivi mejor señal charingao.
Alimang. Chimanda estudiante guna pasa chichungisha.
Kambareka.
Pita?
Iya ya basta nyorani. Shukta pa charerani kambareka nyorani. Nyoka sogrino imasti achapangi nyera mana chucharing tarabanata nyoka tarabana illa gasha. Ministini tarabanata nyera.
Tinan puna punjo nai mana trabajo tian pero kaivi sinaliara tukui kai comunidad manda ajuna tarabanara munano si kaigo nyaya ansa difícil pero sinaliara yarine yarisa y trabajo tiakpi kandari mangaron.
Nya?
Ima shuti kamba sobrino, Belgica.
Aroni.
Aroni.
Ah, kalau dia pa chud. Pai
Aroni.
pai cara ang presidente de anda oman o ya
Mana presidente manda champai shugo kipanya ingeniero en sistema kunang wala graduaskan chi mana cara tarabaita charisha ministini i mawais tarabanga kinisha chita ya chapangi nishka akpita pugurani.
Yeah.
Kaironi
Amen.
polisia jang. Polisia.
Mana
Oh.
ingeniero en sistema graduara kunang wa
Ingeniero. Okay. Okay.
chi mana cara mana charing tarabanata chasnasha i mawais tarabanga wa pai charik piga ya chapangi nisharimara.
Yeah, yeah. Y kanguna manda cuentangichi con.
Ya, yukanchi ashka mashti gonata ya kuentanchi.
Kanche tapia manda.
Tapia manda. Maikang animal tapia gan. Todd, what is a sacha alku again?
Uhunda.
Sacha
Mana
alku.
sacha alko. Ichilla wa.
Ahunda. Uhunda. Iski.
Mana uhunda puma ga shugman. Pishnya shinah lata mas ichilla man ushpawa.
Uspa. Pero sacho kui
Ushpawa.
puring.
Sacha
Sacho
kui.
puring.
Ichilla wa es. Lo mucha katigua.
There's two types of Amazonian dogs here. Uhunda ang mas yananay. Mas.
Chiga atong man. Uhunda.
You said unda?
Uhunda.
Uhunda.
Puma. Uhunda puma pero alko man.
Chiga niya aliko mang aliko tupo niya atong aliko tupo.
Okay, so it's called a puma, but it's actually an alko. Okay.
Yeah, because puma is really a word for a predator.
Okay, right.
So, for example, a raccoon is called churupuma because it eats snails.
Okay.
For the snails.
That's so interesting.
And that's similar to the sort of semantic range of the Schwad word, yawa.
That's so fascinating. Wow. That is so fascinating. Yeah. Yeah, so we were asking
Puma,
go ahead, sorry.
Puma can cover, you know, a dog, a cat, a raccoon, weasel sometimes.
And it's described by what it preys upon.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. You can have yana puma, muru puma, but sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, like in the case of a raccoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but what it looked like taruga puma, I'm not sure that's because it eats a deer. It's just tan like a deer.
Right. Okay.
You know, the tan pumas.
Okay. Interesting. We were trying to find out if portending happens only by sounds made by non-human life, or does something portend by the way it appears to people. And I think she said that, well, then we got onto dreams, but is there anything that you think that you recall can portend simply by an appearance, by the way it looks?
Yeah, sure. For example, seeing an iluku in the daytime.
Seeing a hiluku in the daytime.
Yeah.
Just by its appearance alone.
Por ejemplo, Belgica, imachari sacha purikpi o yaku purikpi nya kiking punja mediodía su iluku rikuring. Tapia mang siname?
Chica tapia siapa runa wanyung garau pi mama asha wawa asha yaya asha mama asha wanyung garau pinya chica tu paring garau
So that would be if you see it.
Because it shouldn't appear in the daytime.
Yeah.
Similarly, almost anything that appears where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we had a sad event at Yarina where it's like a kinkajou, but it's from a little higher up, called a lingo, I think it is. But
a
anyway,
type of
this
bird?
kinkajou. No, it's a like a honey bear. It's one of these. I mean, that's
Oh,
kind of a popular name of it. But that's
okay.
a night. It's related to a raccoon, but it's a furry critter with a long
Mhm,
prehensile tail.
mhm.
So that thing came and started sleeping in a room in Iarina.
Hmm.
And it shouldn't do that. So people thought that was a sign of death, or maybe even that it was, Pedro Andy died, maybe even that it was his soul, because it happened before he died, but sort of, and they killed it, and which may have resulted later in his death.
What's the name of that animal
So,
in Quechua?
Tutakushilio.
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 So it's behavior portending.
Yeah. Or for example, if you just sometimes like an animal, something that happens too easy, like, a fish jumps in your canoe, or an
Right.
animal just dies, falls on your path in front of you dead. You don't really want to eat it because it might be sent by brujeria or tapia or
Gotcha.
something like that.
Yeah, that just sounds too weird.
Suspicious.
Yeah, too suspicious. Yeah.
Are portents almost always for death?
That's a question I was going to wonder too.
Mm-hmm.
Tapia, yeah. Shuk pishkuchari tapiang, shuk shuk supai chari tapiang, paiguna tapiang, paiguna nya winyai bak tapiang gauna wanyunata u wanyunata.
Wanyuna nya chasa tapianga wakalyarisha nya painya. Shuruna wanyungaro pinya si tapiangaro.
Okay.
Nya mana wanyungaro pi mana. Cinya ku tapiangaro nya chiga runa wanyungaro pi tapiangaro.
Okay. Yeah. it sounds confusing.
May kangguna nilang niya mati siksik kul siya mong itang tapia.
Mana
Tapia.
chikanya mana tapia ya chaun chinya ku maki shikshikpi nya imaste kulki shamungarau lyoki maki shikshikpi kulki shamukpis wing nya tukuchingarau chiwairashina kasna.
Alimaki
So what I
shikshik
asked that for is,
Ali makilla shikshikpi nya kulki tapisha nya alimanda gastangarau chimana wairashina. Wairashina gasta na ilyuki maki shikshingarau kulki tapingarau chitukuchingarau chilakta.
Alima.
Just naman.
nyuka sinaya tukung yuki makilla.
Alyoki makilla sinasya nya kang kulki shamopi nya tukuchingarau nya runa mo pagasya nya chi mana charingarau paikike makil.
Manavaling.
I asked that just because because there's portents that aren't called tapias. That they might be something good that's going to happen, or
Like
I don't know
money,
if that's
like coming
example.
into money.
Right, or
Yeah.
something like that. But
Okay.
that's not called a tapia. A tapia is usually
Death.
of death.
Right.
Interesting.
Belgica, Yuka, Nyawi Lulong, ya, Zirmarishka, Ashkai, Imata Pasangarao.
Lyuki nyawi rapia shaga chiga imaste shuko
Rapias.
yanga karo aili wanyupi wakanai. Nyukanchita ali nyawi rapia singa rapia chiga nyukanchi wakasha picharina rapia gang.
Cierto. Nyukachi,
Siempre pichari shakas narana chica y rapia gang kai. Chimanda ali nyawi chi nyukanchi ailu wanyupi kasna wakasha nyukanchi picharina chichas rapia.
Luki Nyawi.
Ali nyawi nyukanchi ailu wanyunai. Lyuki nyawi ang karo ailu wanyunai.
Karo Ayu. Cara, cari mana alirik siska ailu. Karo tiashkai paigona.
Karo tiag ay luwanyo nay lukinya grabe.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the questions about Yaku Aicha fathers?
Mhm. Yeah. Did we get anywhere as far as why animals know to portend certain things, or was it just that they do?
She said they just, Todd, we were also trying to ask how animals know when they portend. How do they know that certain things are going to happen?
Well,
And we didn't
that's
get very
something
far with
that's something that I have a theory on, but that I don't think you could elicit.
Yeah.
That is okay. You know how trees sleep in the day and at night they're much more animated and you know wave to each other and talk. That I think is an indication that their time is opposite ours, like China. They're awake while we're asleep. There's so and that's not only on the diurnal cycle, but on a much larger multi-century cycle, in that they, if you think of this idea of the Pachacuti that you might not be able to find too clearly in every Quechua culture, but it's sort of there, latent. Um, the people who the people who were animals, in the beginning time, people were people, and now they're animals because they went inside, but they're going to come back again. And so my sense is that the past is also sort of the future. That's where they're going to come from. So it's sort of like if you think of the Chinese already being awake while we're asleep, their stock market, for example, is already open, and you can sort of, if you want to wake up at night and find out what's going to happen tomorrow, you could check the Chinese stock market at about 3 a.m, and you'll probably figure out what's going to happen.
Because it's already moving.
Yeah.
The next morning, because it's already moving. So I think that they're awake while we're asleep, and they can see things a little ahead of time, because they can't
that's
see things
interesting.
very far ahead of time. An animal can't tell you what's going to happen like next
years
week.
from now.
It's limited.
No, they could only tell you just it sees a little ahead of you. And I think that has to do with the fact of being an ex and future human, but sort of out of the cycle right now.
Yeah.
But that you're never going to be able to elicit from anybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. That really makes a lot of sense, though. They're in a different cycle of time with their habits, and
They're in a
so
different
they
cycle of
see
time.
things and understand things that we can't. That's a really that's the most sensible thing I've ever heard.
Right.
And I'm sure you've heard more sensible things, but yeah, on this it could be. But it's also
I like this stuff.
it's also I think what happens really with, in a certain sense, with if you go into that world by taking ayahuasca or something, I don't think you can see a long time in the future. You can just
Interesting.
see a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
But and that's why you drink ayahuasca at night too, because it's the time where you're connecting with that
Right.
night world that's already awake.
Right. Oh, that makes
message.
sense.
You drink ayahuasca in the day.
That makes so much sense.
Right. Is it related at all? Is this kind of other time space? Is it related at all to the dream space, that kind of Irialis area, or is it just?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't worked in Australia, and I am suspicious of what other people translate or what anthropologists come up with, just because I'm sure it's similar to our situation here, where they don't work that much with actual oral narratives. But I think this, in other words, I think that a lot of what's written about Australian dream time is probably much more like what we're talking about here, in that the dream time is not so much like just a mystical, timeless world before this one. It's a world that's going on, that's in the opposite time cycle to ours. You know, it's like, if you think of the analogy of China. And so, you know, and one time this was really clear when I went down to many years ago to a yachak in Santo Domingo, one of the Tzachila. And I drank ayahuasca with him and with some Quichua yachaks that were going down there. And what was really clear there is that when the Tzachila do this, they have to concentrate on the sun, which is underground. And it's like, you know, the sun is going around the earth. So it has a journey, and you're supposed to sit facing east where the sun is going to rise. And you think about the sun as it suffers going through the underworld and coming back up at dawn. But it was really clear then that the people who are taking ayahuasca and sort of suffering by doing that are seeing the world of the sun, which is shining somewhere else. I mean, somewhere else it's day. And that was really clear to me that you know, it was our
Maddie,
night,
I'm
but
on
it
a
was
Zoom call right now. Is it urgent? Check. Dad probably has it with him. All right, bye-bye. That's so fascinating, Todd. We were going to also follow up on something we were talking about last time about fish mothers and fish fathers, because she said that fish mothers will protect children. Were you in on that conversation? I think you were.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, a little bit.
Yeah. Belgica kan iminatan yukanchi kwintai tu kuranchi nya yaku aicha mama ga wawata kishpichi ga now. Yaku aicha yayaga haiwas chasna kueragang wawata yaku aicha yayaga imashina ta kueragang wawata umana kuerag china.
Kuirag mo pai ba yayaga chirai ko tapai mama mi kungarik be pai mi larui biga ugulasha ga siriwagang pescado chasa larui bi mau ga pai mama mi kungarik biga lulonda ga chiwi chapa sharikushan siriunga pai mama mi kungarik bi Shikandi kuirag manau pescado ga pai was
Cierto. Ishkandi kueraga now.
Ishkandi kuirag manau.
What about that? Tuku yaku aicha o shuk yaku aicha chasna kueraga now.
Kai ichila pescado kunata rikushkani chimanda kai atun bagri kunata mana rikushkani shuku chaybi paiguna imashina wayasha imashtina kuira naun jari paiguna was.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Ichia yakoicha.
Okay. What is the cuckoo?
That's the lightning bug that
Oh,
will land on your hand.
okay.
Determines that's kind of back to the portents.
Yeah. I wonder if that's called tapiana. Belgica, yeah, iminata, yeah, kan quintarangi kukuyu partimanda kukuyu.
Kokoyo manda. Da.
Chikukuyu, yeah, chikukuyu chari yachagang uruna wawaga aliwachay tukunga umana aliwachay tukunga chasna chan.
Yachagmang koyuga. Wanyo na wawak piga tapos shitak pitay siri shaping wanyo kalaring mang painyayo at wanyo chigang ping.
Chikukuyu chasna tukung.
Kukuyu sindira wagang paiga. Bir di nyayo ata paiba nyayo ata. Chiga nyaping wi wanyo ga. Chiga wanyo na wawata chasna yapa chasna tukugang.
Ay. I aliwawa wachana.
Aliwawa anataga. Te achurashka kari akpiga tes awa masaltanga. Wari me akpiran jiga punjang pas kagang. Chiga nya wari me. Kari ashaga chiga nya saltanga la awa tas punjang supartin.
Imamanda saltan ya.
Kai maki vichurasha.
Oh, maki
churasha. Tapushka washa maki churak pe saltaga. Jewarimi ang
These
piga
are
punjang paskas.
Alimang.
Oh,
these are really click beetles.
Oh, they're beetles.
Well, they
Shundu.
I mean they
Shundu
fly.
shina?
Shunto shin tamago kaito pumato.
Uh-uh.
Let's see if I
Kukaracha
can
shin.
show you.
Hairi kucing garang.
Image. Okay, let me see here. You can see what they. Well, okay. Can I share a screen or not?
Yeah, let me see if I can bring that about. I think I can do that. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
this
I
last
can.
night. Okay, you should be able to share now.
Yeah. But I don't know if can you see this screen or not?
Not yet,
What are you seeing?
just your
No.
face.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, now oh.
oh,
So they have these green eyes,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
and
Una
then
verde.
in their abdomens.
in that.
Let me see. I wonder if there's a video that shows this.
Is this
because
the, is
way
this
they
the,
open-
like, this one over here is a good example. Is that a click beetle that,
This is a click beetle, but I want to see if we can see a video of them from the underside when they move, because that's will show you what they're
okay.
not fireflies. Click beetles, YouTube. I wonder if there's a light.
That's so interesting. I didn't realize there was something going on.
I didn't know beetles could do that. Do they make a clicking sound? Is that why they're called click beetles?
Well, they can jump. That's what I mean. If you put them on their backs,
Mhm.
they'll jump. That's
Okay.
what she's saying.
Okay.
And when they jump,
Oh,
they're when they jump, the way their abdomen opens, it's either sort of long or sort of open like a crack,
Mhm.
which is sort of symbolizes male or female.
Oh,
I would
And
say it seems
so
like
this is why they can tell you whether the baby that's gonna be born is male or female, or whether the baby that's gonna die is male or female.
oh my gosh.
But
interesting.
but I don't know whether this will. I didn't optimize this for video anyway, but
Well, we're seeing something.
Oh, that video on the side is.
yeah, but that's only you're only gonna see. Maybe they'll turn it over.
Yeah, the top one on the right. So Todd, the first suggested one is how to click beetles jump, and it looks like they put them on their back.
Oh, okay. Wait. Well, why don't you? I stopped sharing and you just share that.
Okay, okay. Let me see if I can, oh,
Let's see.
all right, hold on, share screen. I don't know if I'll be able to.
I truly believe that if you want to succeed in sales or in any type of business job,
Oh,
you have to write well. I'm going to show you the
Show
keys
all
to
of
writing
those.
sales emails that can land prospects and close
right, and then let's get this.
deals. First, keep it clear and concise. No one has time these days to read through a huge block of text. Your goal is to get your point across in as few words as possible. Grammarly really helps with this. It shows me places where I can rephrase a sentence to increase readability. It also identifies certain parts that are most important for my reader to comprehend and suggests that I bold them. Second, use specific words that convey what you really mean.
Yeah.
Efficiently is so much better than easily. Finally, and I cannot stress this enough, typos kill deals. If your writing isn't polished, prospects won't see you or your business as qualified. I've always considered writing to be a strength of mine, but Grammarly helped me turn my strength into a superpower. You should give it a try.
Oh, thank you.
Right there. How to cook the beetles.
All right, just 1 second. Let me just get this ad out of the way and then I'll share it or try to anyway.
This is a beetle that's stuck on its back. It's kicking its legs, but can't quite get enough leverage to flip itself back over. But that's okay. It doesn't have to. It's an insect that's famous for its body and a spectacular way to get off the ground and back on its feet.
Unless we are somewhere.
All right, hold on. Let's share. What is going on here? Why is this coming up? All right, let me get this out.
So it should be down here. Right there.
One thing I really like about the click beetle jump is you can see what they use to make it
Can
work.
you see
They
that?
have a little latch right here on their bodies that they use to load and release the energy they use for a jump. I only recently found out about this, but when I did, it immediately went on my list of things I needed to film. But before I show you that footage, I think the best way to understand what that latch is doing is to actually look at how
Doesn't have to. It's an insect that's famous
Mousetrap
for using its
works.
body and a spectacular
Mousetraps are
way to
spring-loaded
get
devices,
and back
but
on
just
its
as
feet.
important as a spring is this part here, the latch.
Aye.
This lip keeps the energy of the spring loaded and ready to go. And when it slips, that's the point at which the stored energy of the system is released and the fast movement of the trap can happen.
One thing I really like about the click beetle
And then he
jump
just
is
goes
you can
there.
see what they use.
Oh my gosh. That's so interesting.
For a click beetle, their latch is on the underside of their body, between the front and middle legs.
Now
It's
what?
a single peg
what are
that
we
catches
listening
on the corresponding lip and holds the front of the body in place while their
to? I think,
spring
Todd,
is
are
being
you
loaded.
still sharing something?
There are
I'm not
10,000
seeing, no, I
different
don't know.
species of click beetles, and they
Nope,
all
no,
use a
it's
version
this
of
and
this
then
peg
that
as the
on
latch.
YouTube.
The latch allows the beetle to load an internal spring that, when it's released, rapidly
Like-
flexes the
like
front of the body
minimize
and
with
throws
this
the beetle
story.
into the air, with its
Yeah.
head rocking back and forth, recoiling from the rapid movement. Here are two close-up slow motion shots that show the beetles setting the
So,
peg latch in
this
place as they
is
prepare for a jump.
On
The
bottom,
click in a
right?
click beetle's name is from the
Oh,
snapping
okay.
sound that's often produced when the
Yeah,
peg
Todd, I
releases
think
and
you're
the
still
thorax
playing the
flexes.
video.
I am?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we're not. Okay, now it's stopped.
This
There we go.
sequence, captured at
Oh.
3,200 frames per second, the rapid beetle sends it accelerating off the ground at 2,150 meters per
I
second
can't
squared,
see anything.
with pulling 219
Am I?
Gs. Other click
I think
beetles
so.
have been
It's
measured
lighting up
accelerating
on
off
yours.
the ground at 300.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Halima.
There's nothing worse than somebody speaking in scientific language when you're not interested.
I know, truly.
That was magnificent footage though. Thank you, Todd. I had no idea they could, if I saw a click beetle just struggling like that, I would think it was dying or something. And I would like not realize it was just getting its, momentum.
That's how you get the top yet. You have to put it on its back like that and wait for it to jump.
And that's called the
No, he could explain it again.
Yeah. Belgica,
You must not have,
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Chikukuyu yachang ya shugwarmichari ya chichumang manachu I ali warmi ya wachana chita yachang ali kari yachana chita yachang manachu imashina ter yachang warmi ashkai ukari ashkai
Kuti yachang paiga kai imangawa paiga chasa yachana tukura. Runa imashte mukumanda tukug asha. Wing rupachishka kai mukumanda tukug asha paiga nya yachang. Kari ag, warmi ag, wanyungarao, mana wanyungarao, payachang. Runa
Nhau pa tiempo pai runa manda tukuska, ¿sí?
Runa manda tukushka runa kay tulyu muku manda tukushka ngona chi kukuyu gona chiraiko yacha.
Runa tulyu manda
Ya.
Runa tulyu manda tukushka
Runa tulyu muku manda kay muku
tulyu muku manda
kay muku manda. Karang muku manda kay chaki muku manda kunguri muku manda. Kangi kay tulo mo kumanda. Tukus ka na.
Chasna tukushkauna kai kukuyu.
Kukuyu ka.
Kayari tiempo.
Kalyari tiempo. Chasna asya
Mana
pay
yacharani chu.
Mana yacharangi?
Mana mana imata uyarani chita.
Mano yarangi cheta.
Oh,
But that goes along with my theory that what's interesting is she connected the fact that they were once human and aren't now
yeah.
to the reason why they can tell the future. Or-
They
Shoot.
like know human things.
Shu kayari tiempo cuento tiang kai kukuyum anda.
Nya nye kalyari tiempo kwento man. Sonya.
So till next week.
Shamuk semana cuenta na kungao.
Nya sinasya. Mo kasi man kwento.
But I think there's two things there. One is that they're connected to the human because they were human. But the
And
other
also
thing
they're
is that
part
no
of a
longer-
connecting joint.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that. I mean, they could be. I think the point is that they were once human.
Okay.
But the other point is that they're no longer human and maybe will be human in the future. But they're humans in a removed time.
So
Because
would that be true of all would that be true of all creatures that have the ability to portend, that it's because they were once human that they can portend, do you think?
Well, I think almost all animals are that way, except that,
That's true.
you
Yeah.
know, so like well, I used to have a lot of animals around the house, which, made my sister-in-law a little nervous because she said that animals are almost like supais.
Yeah.
And because they're humans who've gone away, and so they're in this kind of supai time world,
Mhm.
which is the and I think that's one of the really interesting things about I guess you could use the English word for spirit world, but
Mhm.
but it's not like a difference between spirit and flesh, or between something infinite and something finite.
Right. It's just
simply
different.
it's a transformation in which they're humans they're ex-humans that have gone in, that are out of cycle.
Right.
Like they went into our night, when we're in day. And
Right.
and so they're in a kind of uncanny, that's why they appear in dreams too. That's why you have to wake them up if in the daytime, because they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, when you knock on a tree.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think when she says that they're, how do they know? Well, because they're ex-humans.
Right.
I think that's what she's sort of saying there.
So
But
that raises another question. Remember how what's the name of the bromeliad flower that Belgica once said can help you decide or know whether you're gonna have a boy or a girl? You test it out by coming up with
yeah, that's not a papango, it's called
Papango
sisa. But that's not a bromelia, that's a psychonthesia.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It's Belgica.
Okay. Papango sisa ga nya yachagan warmi chichu warmi nya wawayana kari wawa u warmi wawa.
Inda ya chita chasa na tatapo na tiangui ta sinalata. Tiangui tatapo ng iskay chunga tiangui karimuilla. Kim sa chunga papango karimuilla. Kari luksingara o chihuahua. Nya mana lulaiba. Nya eko taraska kuinta ya chana chita. Chimang runa tono eko rana. Runa eko na rasha ya chana.
You can know that. Eko shinaman, seguro.
Nya chi seguro. Nya mana imaginas pandaiba.
Kangirangi tiangui.
Tiangui, iskay chunga tiangui, kimsa chunga papangu, nya, kari manga.
Tiangui ang kukuyu o shuk.
Tiangui kukuyu nya chipurala.
I'm curious what she means by the numbers. Why does she say 20 tiangui and 30 papangu sisa? Imawa
Papangu
ishkai
sisa.
chunga imawa kimsa chunga nirangi.
Nya chas na tapunang ya changawa.
Ishkai chunga kuting tapunga.
Ao ya. Ishkai chunga tiango tanya pisha tapusha ringarang kanga. Nya kanga
Imagina tu tupangi ishkai chunga tiangui gunat.
tuta ga karang tuta kanga tapunga raungi shamu gana wasibe punjang shamunga.
Shuk tuta shuk tiangui tapungi. Chimanda nya kayandi
Kote
tuta.
kayandi tuta kote shuk to tiangui tapunga raungi. Kote shuk tiangui tapunga raungi. Kote shuk nya kang eko taranga mi kang tiangi chirai ku ya chasha nisha.
Seguro man.
Nya seguro
Mana pandai ba.
Nya mana pandang gawa nisha nyachi. Kari mang apustig manau. Yang anyenge mana kiri nicho. Ware mi manga. Mana kari mang. Abe nyashi nasha apusti shuk atalya wang nisha. Nya apusti na shuk atalya wang nisha. Nya apustik pi. Nya lyoksiskai nya kari anggarau. Chay kunang kang nya sakidangi kunang nya atalya taku anggarau. Chasna.
Belgica imata apustina.
Apostina.
Bet.
Apuesto.
Imata?
Apostar.
Apostar. What is apostar?
To bet money
Oh,
on bet chicken.
apostar is to bet. Apustina.
Agustina. She's saying they've placed bets on whether it's.
That's what it sounds like. Chimanda papangu sisuta. Yeah, shuk punja, shuk papangu sisa, shuk punja, shuk papangu
Nya
sisa.
sachama kang puringe. Sachama risha. Topanga charange. Pichka papango mata shupunja. Chimanda kuti shupunja eringarong salata pichka papango tupangarong nya chunga tokongarong. Salata kuti purushkai nya tupangarong salata pichka papango uchunga papango matas. Nya kang chiyo ya bang purungi nya tapungarongi chiwasha likisha rikungarongi nya angarong kari. Nya angarong kari nya pakta chingarong gikim sa chunga nya chiwashi nya kang ningarong ichiwawa kari wawa mang nya ishkai chunga papango makim sa chunga papango ishkai chunga tiango nya kari mangarong.
These numbers are so important. Chang, yeah. Kai papangu sisa tu pasha pai nikpi kari angarang. Chimanda pai kambiang ning warmi angarang, warmi chasna pasangauna.
Ndaya nya kang
Imagina ta ya changi chimanda.
pakta chingarong nya imakim sa chunga papango nya kari moila anagam. Chinya chikim sa chunga papango pakta siskai nya mas lyukshingarong kari chi papango tapukpi.
Okay. Mas yukshingarang kari nikpi chimanda kari manga.
Kari anggarong. Nya ya pakta lyukshingarong warmi inya papango is warmi apa nakungarong. Nya chi papango ibinya ya chakpi nya warmi anggarong.
What is it they're counting?
They're counting how many times yeah, they're counting how many times.
Nya chiruna ekorana.
Chiruna ekorana. Kang shuk tanguita nya tupangi. Kang nya churangi kamba maki pambai, chimanda imata ningi.
Kas na nisha tapuna mang tapuksha nya kamba kari nya kanja wiksayu gonge mah nyoka nya chita tapungawa nya ya chasha nisha nyoka tapungarao ni kamba kari shuti tarimangaraw ni kamba kari gas tarimangaraw ni chiwasha nya kang wiksayu gapi Janet nukul bawawa ima wawatang kari wawachang warimi wawachang rima wangi kang manarimak pi kungat tapulong pitis kangi Nisha churanaw chi tianguita makiwi. Kahna nisha churanan kaibi, churakpi. Tas saltangaron tiangui. Nya kari mang iningaron.
Pare.
Chimanda nya kuti shukta shuktianguita topangaron. Chay biskuti kankari gasta kankari shuti rimasha rimawangi imawata wiksayga kari wachang warmi wachang rimawangi Janet nukus bawawa imawatan kari wachang warmi wachang rimawangi kang mana rimakpi kungata pulung pitis kangi nisha niska churan namo tes saltangarong nya kari mangarong jas na panakungarong gitapusha tapus papangguta randiga papangguta palyangi wiksay bichitaranji waktaringarong wiksay waktarisha chi kambakari gasta kankari shuti tapisha rimasha chuasha kamba shuti tarandi janet nukulbo ay motan kari wachang warmi wachang rimong kuna mana rimakpi kungata pitis kanginisha paska sharikukpi nya kari anakpi kari anggarong kuti tapung garong ni salata tupasha kari anggarong chahna nya chi kari manggarong.
So they open it up and they see if it's a female flower or a male flower.
Cheka
Taraboso man.
Taraboso man, pero nya ya changarang nya cierto acta.
Pero kulki ilyashkai ali man.
En kuti kulki mana tiak pinya chi mana kulki ministeriu nya.
Runa ekorana.
Runa ekorana.
Ay, ushashka Belgica. Chasna ragarangi kamba wiksayashkai kamba unefrota.
Nyuka taga shuk tapusha chahna ya changarongona. Nyuka lata mana shuk tapusha.
Kang yata mana ushangi shuk mashi amiga shuk nyanya shari.
Nyanya. O sobrina chasa tapungarong. Si tapusha nya karimang nya kari luksha. Cierto maga nyuka nya tapusha kamasha nya warmi luksishka kari luksishka. Chinya.
Ay Belgica ashka pagaracho. Imawa chasna ningi nya kang nirangi kang mana rimakpi nya wanyuchish kangi nirangi chasna nirangi
kata pitis kangi nyon chiga kuti manjari sa limang garong pai kungata pitiwang garong ni shame ku intang garong chiga chinya shuk secreto.
Ay, pobre tiangu, pobre papangu sisa.
Tiangu nga manjau mi kuti kausa sa kungata pulung pitiwang garong ni sa kuti che.
Chimande kishping.
Chega nya pai certo tarimasha kishping garong pai urbana certo tarimasha chico anyong garong.
Imagina the saltang warmi
manak pega punjang pa sindiring garong kai imaste siki partiwama.
Pero
kariak pega nya shugraila kuyo rekshana to salta ipasanga mana makiwi ka yang nya kushparikshana to ko salta ngawam chiga nya kariak salta Wari meak pikache sirish kamandalya nya paskaring garang awing. Loso ashina punjang sinding garang. Chiga wari memang. Nya pai pa pingai ta si chiga paskari pai pingai.
Pingai paskari yung.
Au chi piatengo ga chi pingai pai pa pingai paskari si kailei punjang loso ataga paskau kahna. Chi pai pingai shaw.
Kang paska chingi chi tiangui paska.
Chi tiangui mi chana paskaring garang.
That's what I'm trying to say. When it jumps, then that you can see whether it's male or female, and that's what tells you whether the baby's going to be male.
Right. Yeah.
It sounds like there's a difference in the motion too, where the males will jump right out, or the male portends, I guess, and then the females will just kind of like float off.
Hey Stevie.
It does sound like that.
But is there something important? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, no, I'd love to talk. No, anytime you have anything to say, what doesn't matter what I'm doing, just talk. I'll call when I get out of class. Okay, thanks, love you. All right, bye-bye. Desculpa, Wangi, Yuka sobrina Kayawara, Paibayaya, Yuka, Yaki Turi, Pai Yapa Ungugman, Kanserwan. Yuka, Chi, Cellulite, Uyashin, Yuka Pinzerani, Yuka Turi Chari, Imatam Chari Pasara, Chiraigo Yuka, yeah. Pero mana imas pasan.
Mana
Aliman.
Ali.
Ai, Belgica, tukuita ya changi riki.
Chica, cierto, mocha, ya chana ma conchita.
Wow. I'm just blown away by that. That's so interesting.
Tara bagwinya na tas chita siya chanalya mo. Tara bagwinya na taga yapa ilambay piti. Viksayu gashkaleta.
Imata ilambay piti.
Imata
ilambay.
Ilambay mang kukuyu sinalata pero nya ichila wa ruya ramata piti.
Oh, ilambay.
It's like an actual firefly.
Ilambi. Did you say
Ilambay.
Ilambay. Imata ragang ilambay?
Ilambay ka pitik mo ruya ramawata. Ruya ramata kangrina nyambi pitisha urumachinga. Kangrina nyambi pitisha urumachinga. Kangrina nyambi pitisha urumachinga paiga nyaupak ta pitik mo. Chiwas kari akpiga liu pa hariuta pitinga warimi akpi. Kari tarandiga nya kasapunda tukusha nya chipunda nya champa kirishurmanka. Chasna chita siragman.
Imina the pai piting chasna negang warmi akpi o kari akpi.
Warmi akpiga nya pari watan pitinga motosera onshina liu chiu pitinga. Kari akpirandiga kasapunda ta sakinga pitisha panakusha pundang wat sakinga. Chikari angkara. Cheganya yapa tarabaga wawa winyanggarau nya rukuyasha siapa tarabag tukunggarau.
Wow. Kutsi wawa.
Inji
tarabaga.
Kutsi warmi, kutsi rona winyanggarau. Chiraiko ilamba ichasa yapa pitika.
Imagina ta imawang piting chi ilamba.
Pai kiruang pitik mang.
Sinji kiruyo.
Sinji kiruyo mang ilamba chiraiko ta ruya kucu rona tukuna akpi. Ilambay ka pa ichasa kuchu kumang ini kana. Yapa
Pero hatung ruyata mana kuchunata mana ushanda.
Mana kaito puta nya pitik mang riki kaito puta pitik mang. Pai pitik pi. Chimanda waira shamusha kos pakima.
Shu ilambay chasna ushanju o ashka ilambay gona tarabana kusha.
Mana shugla chasa pitik mang shugla. Shugla mi pitik. Mana iskai.
Sinji tarabaka. Ima sinji
Yapa sinji tarabag mang nyinyi chiray ko ta yapa sinji tarabag. Chichasa tarabag wawa tukuna akpi warmi kari akpi chasa tarabag tukuna akpi. Paiga chas na piti. Geno mana tarabag kilya tukuna tag mana pitinga chu ilambay.
Belgica. Ay, ima orestanya. Derikuchi tukungarani kai ilambay.
Ilambay ta.
Yuka yapari kunata munani sajai.
Chi tarabay si kita.
Tianju iarinai. Tara do they have them?
Iarinai biwas nyambi kunai pitis katiyak mang. Yapa pitik mang. Yaya tumas bay. Imastita yapa pitigara. Pai baru ya kunata. Piti siya
Have you
kay
seen
Rama.
these ilambais, Todd?
Yes, but there aren't as many of them as there used to be.
Hmm.
Yung kawawaras askatiara.
Mm-mm.
Ay, but wawa oras ashkatiya.
Kayo
Kuna-
ka tiyaw ka ichas na tiya kwa.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. That's interesting. I think we should let her go. I think she needs to probably get back to her place. Belgica, ashka pagarachu.
Ya, mani mamandas.
Oh. Kunang alita bonyung. Todd, did you hear that they caught the thieves that were invading her? Did you know that she, the last time we met with her, somebody had tried to break into her house when she was sleeping?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. Well, now they've caught the thief.
Ha?
Gamba wasira suahuna niya.
Nya apitu kuna ora shugwasi shuwa ukunata.
Imara ranaukan.
Api siya uchuta satis na ora nyawi masingama. Sati na ora lyatana chinaura makanaura. Chaiwasha makashka washa. Nya gasolina ang rupa chingaraun chinya cierto manakanguna api gasha ga rimaichi o apishka asha wasnya rikuchichi mai bita charungi chikanguna shuashkata nyikpi nya mana rupa chiwa ichichu nya rimangarauni chi refrigeradora apashka au mi plaza raibi sakishka shuga amigo wasibi baun nisha rimashka naura
Mandanayakta.
Chirimakpi nya paiguna maska grisha nya apanaura amuguna
Kang lamparata randigrirangi umana.
kunang imate randigring karawnya cara mana pakta munju nyawing tukurira nyira kriteria ibi ko kunang kay semanay shamungi nira
Ashka guna randinata munak bichas na pasa.
ashka guna nya randisha tukuchinaura nyira
A good example of how the so-called indigenous justice, which is supposed to be allowed parallel by the Constitution, but it's limited by human rights. They can't do anything that violates human rights, but almost everything that she said violates human rights.
Violates human rights big time. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't catch a thief in without a trial, put pepper in their eyes, up their nose. You can't strip them naked. You can't beat them up. You can't threaten to throw gasoline and burn them if they don't get their stuff back. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
every single one of those things would not actually pass the constitutional test.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because there's really there are no facilities, there's no jails, and there's no way to fine anybody because there's no way to enforce it. And so all you can do is, stuff like that, but actually it's not really, it's a human rights violation under the Ecuadorian Constitution.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it worked, and I think she did say he's in jail.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it worked. It sounds like.
Right.
Mob justice, I guess. Anyway, I think Anna needs to get to another class, and I need to get and do some things. But Todd, thank you so much for making this possible. Belgica, ashka pagarachu, shamuk semana nyukanchi nya kukuyu quintota nya ushangichu.
Inda?
Y Belgica Diana Chivi Tianju.
Awa machareo mana kaibiya unjo.
Bueno, despedisca washa rimay ringi pay shamu misa nukawa cuentan go.
Nya.
Well, good to see the two of you.
Yeah, great to see you too, Todd. Thank you so much for hopping on the call. That was really fun.
Yeah, I'm just impressed that I can actually have a clear video from here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really though.
it's amazing what
Huge
you're able to
forests
pull
and,
off.
it's really in one of the most remote parts of Ecuador.
Yeah.
And we can hear every night from our cabin, we can hear a jaguar. And two people saw a tapir swim across the river from our cabin.
What did the
today.
jaguar sound like? Was it just making sound walking?
No, wagara
Puma,
puma,
puma uyara, pumata uyara.
wagara puma.
Wagara puma.
Nya tuta yaskai pai wakan. Uyak changi.
Mana pero ruku kuna paiguna cuentas kata wega ni wagara puma wakas kaga ali pasi zirmari kanga ni sakai wagara wakas kasina wakaglaita si kaya ali pasi zirmari kanga ni kasa cuenta kaka
Imagínate
Parang
alpa zirmari, yeah.
Uti pai wakas kang ali pau kui bisang ci wagara puma ka chasasha pai wakas kaga ali panji zirma cikta wakaganga ni sa cuenta kaka no.
The earth vibrates.
Yeah, zirma is what people say for electricity. Right. So she's
Yeah,
saying
but
it causes it to.
it feels a current. But that means what
Okay,
they mean, I
okay.
think, is that it vibrates.
Okay. Hi.
Karumanda uyanchi, pero karang tuta las 7:30. Sinawakan karumanda. Wagara
Ai
puma.
cari kalari rukuna runa ilyas kaibi paiguna ukuibi pambas cari luksinata munasha wakawe. Casa ni kana luksinata munasha kai nyukanci winyas kaibi asa moriti kucha ukui bisi nya imasti luksinalya asi chunda palang paiguna imasti kinjas kaga luksinalya asa si casa wakang nisa ni kanang chiwis tuta casa wakagang nyana chau pituta.
Pita luxinata muna?
Kuti chipuma ya.
Chipuma.
Chipuma luksinata muna
Pita tapa no kapaiguna.
Masti kallari yacha gurukuguna si tapa gagashkaw.
Pero kang mana yachangi pa sutita.
Mana yacha chupai basutita gachasa yanga ni gano. Kai imasti muriti kucha urkui di pakas kasang ni
Yes, exactly.
Waka gang kasa tamia ansa ping. Tokus kaibi.
Kaibi
Waka
na
pika
pui
sirmari gang ni sa ni kakara. Ni kaya ya.
kai nyukanchi na puibi.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Ninginya
in shape for students to go. Yeah.
ninong galeras urkui tapanos kang. Nyukanchi yarina manda rikurin galera surko.
Galera
Chibi tapanauka nya kallari horas. Cuillor y Lucero. Cuillor y Lucero che iski nya che
Wow kipura.
wow kipura. Siguna nya wacha nauka che puma wanyuska mama. Siguna wanyuska warmira chimanda.
Che imasti puma apa mama pai kuna uibaska. Takagwawa kuna.
Adi, imas na ninong chiguna.
Takagwawa. Takagwawa manang chi gemelos luksikuna. Takagwawa kuna.
Takagwawa kuna. Chiguna ninong Cuillor y Lucero. Chiguna tapanauka chi mundo puma. Galera sur ku bui.
Chiga
Kaimanda
mundo pumata ya. Mundo pumata mi tapas kanguna. Kaiga wagara puma nyik manang. Wagara puma ga shuk shaw. Chi mundo puma ga chiga shuk.
Pero kaimanda uyari enkarang tuta chi wagra puma. Wagra sino.
Can you imitate
Wagra
it?
sina wakagleita kai alipa zirmari kang nyik manang pai chapai. Mai karumanda.
What does it sound like, Todd? Wait, do it again. It does does sound like a cow, a little bit like a cow mooing. But we're talking about
Pero-
such a wagra, right? Not
Ma-
domesticated wagra.
Wagra puma.
Luisa once imitated a such a wagra crying, and it went choo, such a wagra, puma manda kalpasha chari, choo, 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 wakasha, chasna negara Luisa.
Pero kay wagra puma kicking ali wagra cuenta wakon.
Ali kiking wagra sina wakagamang mana.
Chiraigu chari shuti chinang wagra.
Chiray ko ta wagra puma taga shuti kaga ungunay. Si wagra puma taga buru hukuna si tapa gaga shkawn.
So a brujo kept it, in some kind of it covered it, so it put it in the ground. Yeah,
Locked it up.
Locked it up. Ashka pagarachu Belgica.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Todd. We've got to skedaddle.
Okay. Good
But,
to see you.
Yeah, we look forward to
iya to mas wagra puma mi kupi.
ama
Siya mati haupi.
ama mikwitukong
Ama mi ko ito kung
mikuitukongi
kala
sacha
sa mungi.
Alime.
pang mana kutilyata shamupi nyukansi wakangaranchi.
Nya mana puta mo ni chinik pinya wakang garaw chi wagra puma mi kung garaw nyo kayeta niya siya.
Wakan gichi wagra puma sino.
Na wagra puma sinatamu wakang garaw siya.
Yeah,
All right.
okay. See you guys next
Ciao.
Tuesday.
Ciao.